So it's, I told my daughter not to feed the dog coffee. So what does she do? She feeds the dog coffee. Now I got a dead dog, a dumb daughter, and no coffee. It's the only thing I can say.
Dumb daughter.
Dumb daughter.
Daughter.
It's like, how do you add, like, 5 W's to everything you say?
Water.
Water.
Coffee. Bruh. Yo, it's mad brick outside. Dead ass though.
Dead ass though.
Bruh, it's crazy. Yo, it's fucking insane what they doing out here. I'm just trying to walk here. I'm just trying to walk and talk at the same time. You know, I'm too dumb to fucking... I don't have the fucking brain cells to be able to walk and talk at the same time while I'm trying to drink my coffee, talk to my daughter on the phone, you know? Walk the dog at the same time. I can't do it. It's too much.
How do you...
So here, I'm talking to Vinny, right? I'm talking to my boy Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny is like, yo, man, like, I'm trying to go to a fucking shop, get a nice pie out here, get something with the works. I'm like, bro, you gonna get the works on a fucking Tuesday night? Bruh, you're out of your mind. Forget about it. Get out of here.
I can't. Like, you did the whole pizza podcast like this?
Yeah, I did the whole pizza podcast like this.
Did they not appreciate it as much as they should?
Yo, no, I'm not even joking. Like, people in chat did not know it was me. They were like, until
who's
this
like, jabroni? Who's this
fucking jabroni? This fucking Guido wannabe going out there with the slick back, oily hair. Get out of here.
This is so good. I think you speak Guido better than Japanese, but that's really tough. It's like neck and neck.
I know. Do you want me to do the Speakeasy podcast like this? I'll do it. I
don't know because it's so perfect.
I'll do it for the beginning. I'll do it for the intro. The intro. You introduce us via Speakeasy over there. All right. Welcome to the Tokyo Podfathers Speakeasy. What will you be drinking tonight?
That sounds good. That sounds so good.
All right. Okay. So am I introducing us, or you want to introduce us?
You can do it since you just had that down.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Tokyo Podfathers Speakeasy. I'm your host, Fate Steel Taylor. I got my good friend over here. Much love, Shaking807. How you doing, fam?
I'm good. How's you doing?
You know, I'm doing good. It's a rainy Tuesday. Got some water with me. Just finished walking the dog. I'm ready to, bunker down. Talk here in the Speakeasy about some business we got going on today.
We're gonna make him an offer they can't refuse.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I feel like no one outside of the New York, New Jersey area will appreciate this.
They're gonna be like, no, there's no way people talk like this. I'm like, no, but for real, this is the kind of people I grew up with. The people, from Staten Island, who are talking like this. They're talking about the daughters, the dogs, the water park,
the coffee.
Coffee, get some coffee down at Wawa. The best is my dad, my Asian dad, right? Super thick Asian accent. He'll just bust out a forget about it every once in a while. The perfect mix of New York and Korean accent. Just forget about it. He'll break one of those out there.
That's the most amazing thing I can picture. The heavy Korean accent with forget about it. Oh
I can't do it justice. I don't know if I can do this accent justice for the whole podcast. I don't know if our listeners want to listen to that either.
I feel like they should. Everyone watches The Sopranos, so this is just The Sopranos, but podcast version.
The podcast version of The Sopranos?
Yes. It's the Speakeasy. We're already there.
The Speakeasy. Yo, these dulcet tones of a New York accent. From someone out from Long Island, from the island, watching the Islanders, the New York Football Giants,
the New Yorkers,
go G-men, I can't. Anyway, so I'm your host Fate Steel Taylor, and my co-host Shocking807. This is another edition of our spin-off series called Speakeasy, where we talk about topics that we feel like wouldn't be enough to really fully flesh out into a full episode, but we still want to be able to shoot the shit or maybe drink something on the side. Shaw, what are you drinking today?
Just got some water.
Got some water?
Got some water.
Nice. Very nice.
Pretty boring, but whatever. What you got?
I've got a premium quality Heineken.
Oh, nice.
Going on, yeah. Alcohol free, so 0.0, because this is a speakeasy. I'm assuming this is the time of prohibition, and as an attorney, I can't be breaking the law.
I'm so glad you're memeing it for the speakeasy and you're not actually drinking an alcohol-free beer, because then I would be very concerned.
No, I am drinking an alcohol-free beer.
Oh, do you like the taste of them?
When I was growing up, right, with my dad, we would watch football, and we would put on the Steelers games, and I was too young to drink, and my dad had gone through some liver and stomach issues, so he was trying to lay off the alcohol too. But he missed the taste of beer, so like he would get these non-alcoholic beers. We went through a lot of them. The best ones are definitely Heineken. The other ones are pretty garbage, but Heineken's taste pretty good. It's pretty much tastes exactly like Heineken, except without the alcohol.
I can somehow see that.
Yeah, and it's got 69 calories, so it's
nice.
This episode brought to you by Heineken non-alcoholic beer.
They're definitely not sponsoring that many other people, so they can probably help us out.
Oh my god, we gotta reach out to Heineken and be like, yo, for the record, they're not actually sponsoring us, but if Heineken, if anyone from your non-alcoholic beer department is listening in, please sponsor our Speakeasy podcast.
Sponsor us, please.
Oh man.
That'd be so funny.
But sometimes beer without the alcohol is like anime without animation. And so today we're here to talk about instances where we feel like the animation just isn't up to par in anime, and how much weight should we put into it? Anime is a visual medium, but it's also a storytelling medium, so how much should we have to weigh the anime aspect to it? So Shaw, I know this is something that you like because of a particular meme that you like to bring up every once in a while.
Wait, which meme? I have many.
You know what? If I had to rate this meme, it would be a 7 out of 10 with good visuals.
Oh, so it's your favorite 7 out of 10 with good art. But it's like the opposite. It's the opposite of it's the opposite. It's like, what's your favorite 7 out of 10 or higher despite the art?
Right. So this came up because we had a pretty good discussion about the meme-filled discussion about episode 15 of season 4 of Haikyuu according to Crunchyroll. I think it's like episode 3.
I think it's episode 2.
Episode 2?
Episode 2 of part 2 of season 4 of Haikyuu. You can see, so episode 15, because like how many part 2s can we say?
Exactly.
Like, really messing with the math.
Wait until we get to Attack on Titan season 4 that came after season 3 part 2.
Yeah, 3.5. This is getting like Kingdom Hearts titles, like when they have like all that bullshit, and then like rebuild titles 3.3 plus 1.
3.0 plus 1.0.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's getting weird with the numbers, but not as weird as the animation got, unfortunately, because I feel bad, because I think you just got up on the episode recently, but we were freaking out, we were freaking out about it, like, last month or so, when it dropped, and everyone was like, oh my god, this looks like absolute ass.
It was bad. Yo, like, look, as an ass man, I will not say that it looked like ass.
The bad type of ass.
Like, the bad type of ass. Like, dude, it was not thick. It was... Not thick.
Literally and flat. Figuratively.
Yeah, dude, the drawings are incredibly flat. There was no dynamic aspect to it at all. And, like, as someone who loves Haikyuu, and especially how dynamic and beautiful and flowing the animation is, like, it sucked. Like, man. Yo, I looked at, like, some of the, like... the images they had of like Kageyama like on his own, like on a screen. It's not even like a moving picture, it's just like him at the focus, and I'm like, look how they massacred my boy.
Did you see the one of Daichi's neck?
Oh no, it was so bad.
And everyone was like, oh, it looks like he actually died.
Yo, like he actually died this time.
I was sending it to you again. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
So it's so bad. Just send a picture. We'll have to post it. It's so bad.
That'll be the thumbnail to this this episode. Will just be
the
like they killed Daichi.
It's like just the Speakeasy title and then Daichi's neck.
It was so bad. It was so painful because I was like, okay, like I don't like, obviously it's not like people didn't work hard on this. Like, I don't want to take away anything from the animators' efforts. Like, nobody wants to put out a shitty product like this. Like, I'm sure they were working incredibly hard. There was probably like a time crunch,
especially with COVID.
Crunch. Yeah, like they probably wanted to put the best product out there, but if I tried to play for the New York Giants, I would try my best, but it would look really bad. Yeah. And I think not to say like maybe these animators on like a project where they have more time could actually like put out a really impressive product, but unfortunately we get what we get, and what we got with Haikyuu was really bad, and I wanted to ignore it so bad. I wanted to just be like, it's not going to distract me from the story, from the game, from the hype. Like, I can still appreciate it for what it is. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was a stronger man, I could, but I couldn't.
I don't have it in me. But, yeah, no, I think that's, like, really fair. Especially for episode 2. And it's sad because the next episode looked great.
Yes.
With, like, Tanaka's big moment where he was, like, trending worldwide and it was a big emotional moment. Like, that was dope. But it's also, like, tragic just to think about how Haikyuu's biggest strength was always how consistent it was. And now it's kind of, like, going from valleys to peaks real quick. So, and
it's not
really
even
tough.
Like consistency in like a bad way. Like Diamond No Ace looks consistent all the way through, but it's like if you really like white backgrounds, bro, do I have a show for you?
It's always really funny because on Twitter, Diamond Dia fans, I guess that's their abbreviation, they're always coming out of nowhere to slander Haikyuu whenever it gets attention. And then everyone just brings up the white backgrounds.
It's like, it's all you could... Oh, first of all, like, the animation for Diamond No Ace can be more consistent because, I shit you not, there was one episode where they had 2 outs. 2 outs! Not even a whole inning! 2 outs in one episode. And I was... Oh, God. It was painful. I've watched both seasons of Diamond No Ace. So, like, 200-something episodes of Diamond No Ace at this point, I think. I don't know. I don't want to jot down how many episodes I've seen, but it's been a lot.
I just decided, I don't know if you do this, but since you watched all of this, I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna adopt Fate's opinion on it. And, like, naturally, I don't actually discuss Dia or pretend to know anything about it. I'm just yeah, I trust Fate. And Fate said this about the series, so I'm just gonna go with that. Like, I think that's just it.
That's me with Nana.
Yeah, thank you.
That's me with Nana. I'm like, yo, I haven't seen Nana, but Shaw stands Nana, so, like, I also stand Nana. Like, I'm not gonna ever go up to someone and be like, yo, like, you know what you should watch? You should watch Nana, right? But I'm gonna be like, if Nana comes across me timeline, someone's, like, slandering it, I'm gonna, like, send it your way so you can cancel them.
Get them.
But also, like, RT and Heart stuff that are good, that say good things about Nana, you know? Same thing with, like, Monster, Arya, so...
When we're just, like, outsourcing opinions, just like they outsource this episode. I feel bad, but it's the only way we can cope is just laughing at what happened, which I feel bad. I'm with you. Like, I feel bad, but I also feel as probably one of the most... obsessive Haikyuu stans, I wouldn't feel comfortable giving that episode, any slack, because I'm also praising it to high heavens when I feel it earns it. So, like, I can't turn around and be like, seasons 1 through 3, and even, like, the first half of season 4 looked good, but, like, I can't be like, yo, this is consistently one of the best looking anime, and then turn around and be like, okay, that was, like, okay. Like, no, it was really bad, And
I'm with you on that, too.
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't in good conscience, like, shit on Yuri on Ice and Orange for their animation problems.
Yeah.
When Haikyuu had, like... Look, like, Haikyuu was bad. It wasn't, like, Yuri on Ice bad, or, like, Orange bad. Remember Orange when, like, the face, like, the nose and the eyes would be off the face?
They just didn't have faces for, like, a good part of the episode.
It was so... Oh, my God, the animation. And, like, in Yuri on Ice when they literally had, like, the wrong faces on people.
Oh, yeah. They really tried to do every performance. Every performance.
Yeah. And so, like, like, I can't bash those for poor animation and not bash Haikyuu. Then I'm just, like... Then I'm being, like... Maybe favoritism is the wrong word, but I feel like at that point you're, like, not being fair. You're not being honest.
Yeah, it's like a bias, if you want to treat your favorites...
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to treat your favorites with the same kind of, I guess, like, a critical eye that you want to treat shows you don't like in a way. You know, and naturally, one is your favorite and another is a show you don't like for good reason. But it's not fair to be like, I dislike this show because the animation looks really bad, and then turn around and not recognize when your own favorite does that.
Exactly. And I don't want to be like, I don't want people to be like, oh, like, you know, so, like, I don't want people to take, so, like, you know, when I, like, critique, like, Yuri on Ice's animation, I'm not saying, like, that prevents it from being a good show, or that, like, it in some way makes it, like, personally terrible for someone to watch it. In that same way, like, I want people to approach Haikyuu in, like, an open mind, being like, look, like, the animation can hinder the story and the presentation and the watch experience of it, but that doesn't mean, like, you write it off completely.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do, like, but, like, I feel like that's because, you know, sometimes animation troubles and bad storytelling go hand in hand. Like, what is it, Martson or whatever, last year, that had, like, terrible animation quality all the way through, but also the story was really bad.
Yeah. So it's on both ends of the spectrum.
It's like, yo, it's like if you make, like, a chart, right? And, like, the x-axis is animation quality and the y-axis is story quality. So, like, you know, something on the top right, and you, like, split it into 4 quadrants, right? And something on the top right is, like, really good animation, really good story. So something like, I don't know, K-On!, which is, like, or Monogatari, some people would say, right? Like, really good animation quality, but also really good story. Something that has, like, really good animation, but bad story might be, gosh.
With good animation?
Yeah, so, like, something in, like, the bottom right might, so, like, a mess story, but, like,
Flip Flappers. Really,
Flip Flap. Oh, whoa.
It's okay. It's tough, but
Review Starlight.
The biggest criticisms are the story.
Yes, Review Starlight.
But yeah, I guess it did have that one episode that kind of flubbed it, but
no, I mean, like, it looked good, but, like, the story wasn't all that compelling.
Yeah. And this is, like, our hot takes where everyone is like, no, but I love them. And we're like, yeah, we know, but not us.
And then you have, like, things in the bottom left that are both bad animation and bad storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's, like, orange.
And it's, like, orange.
And citrus.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so this is actually interesting. And I was thinking about this when we were having this conversation. But have you ever seen the Digi video, We've Accepted Mediocrity?
I have not.
It's a really interesting video about how both the anime community as a whole and the YouTube community have kind of accepted mediocrity as the norm. And Digi references how in Tsukigakure, it has a really cute story and it's really fun. So they went to go show their mom, and their mom was clowning on it because it had CGI characters in the background.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah.
And those kind of looked bad, let's be real. They were not there for artistic purposes. They were there because, you know, let's just say it's not budget, but it's budget, you know. You know, they're trying to save some money, save some effort on the background characters. So they were saying how they just got so used to that when you show people outside the anime community, they're like, what is this? And I think that's kind of true to a certain extent with anime, where we're, like, kind of used to consistent budget cutting techniques, so to speak, but then when you take a few steps back, you're like, wait a minute, this looks kind of ass.
Right, like, if you watch some older anime, like, a lot of anime have, like, repeated transformation scenes, like Utena climbing the stairs over and over again, right? Like, every single episode. Or Sailor Moon with her transformation sequences. Mecha with their transformation sequences. Doing it every episode with no real differences. And that was a budget saving technique, and we might, like, praise it, but, like, other people who are, like, new to anime be like, yo, bro, like, did they just rehash that one cut for, like, 70 episodes straight? Yeah.
So it is interesting to think about just kind of what we've come accustomed to, and then, you know, but I think with those cases, like with Utena and Sailor Moon specifically, we kind of roll with them, and we're like, you know what, this is just the nature of the beast. This is just, you know, we just kind of accept it. Whereas I think in some cases, like with Haikyuu, with that episode, we're like, no, we're not accepting this. I'm sorry. Like, this does not look good. And Haikyuu isn't a stranger to reusing animation either. Like, they've reused a lot of survey animation, a lot of receiving spike animation, but the fact that they integrate it so well in the first couple of seasons, I think is a testament to how creatively they use that.
Right. Yeah. And also they look good. And the thing with the Sailor Moon and the Utena, like, and the, like, Gundam scenes, or Gaigar scenes are that it looks good. Like, there might be repeated scenes, but they spend a lot of times on those repeated scenes, so they look good.
Yeah.
So it's not as egregious. But you're right, like, we have really accepted, like, background characters being in poorly made 3D CG, or, like, Cars. Cars are, like, the biggest offender, I feel like. Cars are always in, like, really bad 3D CG.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's not to say something, especially, like, Tsukigakure, which I think is a pretty good show. I think it's still good, and I think parts of it still look good, even despite those things. But I think it just shows how you think of it, show that you want to show non-anime fans, and you're, like, not even aware of some of the small details that we've grown accustomed to. Yeah.
What are some anime you would say that succeed despite, like, those budget-saving techniques? And, like, poor animation?
So, I think it's interesting to think of, I don't know how it is with poor animation, or maybe just limited animation.
Right.
But I feel like some series are very intentional with their limited use of animation, you know? And they make up for it with interesting shot composition or backgrounds. And, you know, they work around it almost as if they know that they're not going to put a lot of their eggs in the animation basket. And I think, you know, speaking artistically, I'm rewatching Bakemonogatari right now. And I've really been paying attention to how much animation they use, and it really is kind of limited. But naturally, it's one of the best looking shows out there because they have so many interesting shots that you wouldn't actually notice that unless you were paying attention. But then I was thinking of a show where I've seen people praise it, but not necessarily for animation. And the first that comes to mind is Monster, where the direction and sound design are definitely praised, and the animation looks good, or I should say, like, the animation doesn't really look bad, but it's never going to be praised for animation, you know? It's going to be praised for the story and writing and atmosphere and all that fun stuff.
I feel that. And the creative ways that people get around budget constraints, whether monetary or time, are always interesting too. Something that comes to mind is Eva, and the final episodes of the TV run of Neon Genesis Evangelion, when they knew they were running low on time, and they couldn't, like, finalize everything and make everything look good. And, like, the very deliberate ways in which they saved, like, cut corners. Like, some of them have become infamous, right? Like, the elevator scene, or the Kaoru and the fist scene, and, like, how it just, like, lingers there for, like, minutes on end, and, like, some scenes where there's just, like, black squiggles on a screen. But I think also, you know, despite the limitations, they're able to succeed. And that's really impressive. The Samurai Champloo recap episode.
Yes, I love that one.
It's a really fun recap episode, and, like, it saved budget. But it's almost legendary in the way in which, like, they save budget, they save time, but they're still able to put together, like, a good recap episode. And same thing with Utena as well. Utena's recap episode.
Yeah.
Utena's recap episode might be, like, one of the most pivotal episodes of the entire series.
Yeah. I think I've read somewhere that someone directed that episode. Was it Hosoda? It was someone you wouldn't necessarily expect. I think it was Hosoda.
Hosoda did a lot in Utena.
Yeah. I think he did. I gotta double check that, though. Don't quote me.
Were there any animals in that episode? We could confirm for sure if it was Hosoda. If there were animals there.
We know. Yeah, if there was a dog or any kind of wolf-related being, then it's definitely a Hosoda episode.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
Gotta love him normalizing furrydom, huh?
Do we have to accept it?
I don't know. I mean, I just want to say wolf children walk so Beastars could run. Let's just say that.
All right. We'll give you that. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some other. I'm trying to think, like, poorly animated anime that still, like, really resonated with people.
So, I was bringing this up to you. I don't think you've seen it, but I was bringing this up because Shaves made a really cool video on how Berserk's adaptation kind of doesn't really work, or at least it doesn't lend itself to modern animation because it's such a scenic series that it requires really detailed background art, and it really places more emphasis on detailed background and character designs rather than fluid animation. So that's why a lot of this, like, 3D CGI...
You're really talking about the 2016 adaptation.
Yeah, the 2016 and 2017 adaptation, besides generally being bad, just really didn't work because they weren't putting their priorities in the right place. Whereas the 97 adaptation had a lot more scenic shots, and being on cell animation kind of helped it with that, so to speak. He phrases it a lot better than I do, so definitely go check out the video. We can, like, link it below. But it's a really interesting way of looking at adaptations that I totally agree with. And I think even though that 97 adaptation didn't necessarily have Sakuga animation, the way they presented so many scenes with those, like, really cool backgrounds actually helped do the story a better service than it would have if they made, like, you know, Mob Psycho tier animation, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think another instance might be, and I think of this because you bring up the Digi video with 3D CG models. I think of Love Live, and specifically the difference between Idolmaster and Love Live, where the vast majority of Idolmaster's dances in the 2011 version, I haven't seen Cinderella Girls, but in 2011, I'm pretty sure all of them are hand-drawn.
Yeah,
and so all the performances look incredibly impressive, especially like the last one, the mashup between Change Ready and like the swooping camera, and like the focus is on all the different girls and all the dances, the hair, the makeup, the lights. It's all incredibly impressive. That, you know, all these Skynex expats were able to produce something so animated and so well animated. Sorry.
Yeah,
but with Love Live, a lot of these performances are in 3D CG. And they'll cut between 3D CG and 2D. And a lot of the 2D ones are like close cuts of like faces, and like they're not moving too much. And then when they do like intricate dance numbers, they go immediately to 3D CG. And it is so off-putting, and it looks so bad.
Do you feel like it would have looked better if they just stuck with the CG?
Oh man, I think
not for like the whole show, but like for the performances.
Instead of like swapping back and forth.
Yeah.
No, because I feel like the 2D moments were what salvaged them for me.
Oh, I see.
Like,
okay, so those are like the distract you from the CG.
Exactly. It's like, I will endure this 3D CG moment just so I can get back to that 2D. But yeah, and I think that, like, you know, despite those budget saving measures, obviously, like, Love Live is an incredibly popular and beloved franchise. It's not as much of that for me, but like obviously, like, the 3D CG is not a barrier of love for many, many millions of people.
Yeah, it is interesting, especially since Sunrise also did Gintama, where they just have like an episode of one shot, and they'd all be shitting on the animation team for not having an episode ready.
Oh, amazing. And then you also have, you know, Sunrise is also doing like Code Geass, which is like one of the most impressive mecha anime I think we've seen in the digital era.
Yeah.
No 3D CG whatsoever throughout R1 and R2. All hand-drawn mechas, and they looked so amazing. And it really like sparked this revolution and resurgence of really well animated, for lack of a better term, anime, starting in like the late 2000s, after we had kind of like what I like to call like the deadball era of anime. For any sports fans out there, baseball fans out there, you might get it, but for those who aren't, there's a period of baseball back in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, called the deadball era, where people were so bad at scoring, and like there was like no offense, you know, people weren't like good at baseball when it first came out.
Yeah.
That like no one was scoring, and it was like, and I think the ball was also like different, and so it was called the dead ball era because like it doesn't really resemble the modern game. People were like striking out a lot, no one was getting like a lot of hits, and so it was like the dead ball era. And I kind of considered that time between the end of cell animated anime and digitally animated anime the dead ball era of anime, like after post CCS, like 2000ish, into like Code Geass, Haruhi, Gurren Lagann, that resurgence in like the late mid to late 2000s. Because like you had good anime before that, right? Like you had critically acclaimed and beloved anime like Aria, Nana, I believe Ghost in the Shell.
I think that looks good though.
Yeah,
well,
they like
not
look
that the
good.
others don't look good, but you know.
They look good, but they're not like, you know, like Code Geass is like insane, like with how amazing and beautiful the animation is. Haruhi's Live Alive scene is still like, if it dropped today, would be one of the most impressive like animation scenes of 2020.
I do think Ghost in the Shell is on that level as someone.
Not the movie, like, as the TV show.
No, I mean the TV show. I've seen some stuff where it's like on that level, and I'm not like I haven't seen all of it, but I've seen a few clips. So
with,
I do think that
complex?
Is one. Huh? Yeah, it's Standalone Complex. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that one actually does check out, but I think the point you're making still stands. Because, you know, as much as I stand like Monster and Nana, and I think their visuals are good, I'd say it's more like the directing and, you know, the directing is better than the animation quality.
Princess Tutu is another example I'll throw out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are all like some of our favorite series.
Right.
Like,
I
visually
love
and aesthetically appreciate.
Wow.
But we don't find the animation quality, specifically animation quality, we don't find that as impressive as other series.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, they succeed despite not being like the most, you know, no one's like going through like Sakugaburo, like posting 200 clips of Nana, right? Like,
yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they would, but I don't even know. That's what I was saying. I was going to say that actually, of how like you're probably not going to find a Monster or Nana clip on Sakugaburo. You know, but
besides
the fact that
like
they're
a
still,
very simple one, right?
Maybe like the opening.
Right, but it's never going to be something like, you know, like Mob Psycho 100 tier.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it is interesting. I mean, the fact that they're such classics and considered kind of masterpieces, despite that, is really cool. And it shows the direction and the writing and sound design, everything that went into it really, really snapped. Yeah.
And for how I want to segue this, Shaw, I hope you're okay with losing like a couple hundred of your followers after this gets posted.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I already had Poof for a month. I'm down. And you already exposed my Liz score. I'm ready. I know.
So like, what are some anime you think, if like they were given like not even like a bad anime, like bad animation, like mediocre, like decent, like okay, like pretty good, but not like anything amazing animation, do you think like would not be nearly as beloved or would not like stand up as well as they do?
Okay, everyone hold on. Wait till the end. I swear I'm not. I swear I have a point with this. So we were talking about this, and these are
don't lump
shows...
me in with you. Don't group me in with you publicly.
You didn't. I'm not going to say you agree. I'm saying you were there. You bore witness to my points. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair.
You experienced them for better or worse. Okay.
All right.
So these are two series I really enjoy. Gotta disclaimer that out there. But I feel like Sound Euphonium and Violet Evergarden are two series where the inherent beauty of them is kind of part of the meta-narrative to them. So without that ethereal beauty to them, I don't think they would have gotten the same points across as well. And I think that's really evident in like Sound Euphonium with the budget smile scene. Like the fact that they have a scene that we commonly refer to as budget smile tells you how impactful it was to the entire community and how it's still referenced to this day as budget smile because it broke the budget with Reina's smile. So that one is obviously one that stands out as like ethereal, great looking beauty that is supposed to show, you know, how Kumiko feels about Reina when seeing her in that moment. And I just imagine that smile being kind of like an average looking smile. And I don't think that would have gotten the point across the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was telling you this before too. So me and my fiance got a new TV and it's like super sale, Black Friday, really cool looking TV. So the first thing I did was look up all the cool anime clips I could see that would look cool on the TV. So naturally the first one I went with was episode 7 of Violet Evergarden, which is one of the best looking scenes of all time. I'm like, need to breathe for my giant rant. So it's like one of the best looking scenes of all time. And I've gone out of my way to show the scene of Violet jumping over the lake to like 10 people. Like they don't even care. I'm just like, look at this scene, look how cool this is. And everyone's like, oh yeah, this looks really great. But in the narrative, part of the point is that the guy she's helping out writing the letter for is so entranced by the beauty of what he's witnessing that he has this emotional, not breakdown, but this emotional moment over his deceased daughter. And if it didn't look as good, I feel like it wouldn't have been as emotional for the audience as it was for him, you know?
You know what it reminds me of? It's like that scene in Ratatouille where, like...
I have a story about that after you're done.
It's like that scene in Ratatouille where the dude, Ego, right, is, like, eating the ratatouille.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Ratatouille, by the way. But he's eating the ratatouille, and he gets sent... It's, like, so delicious. It sends him back to his childhood, and it's, like, his mother's cooking. But, like, we can't taste that.
Yeah.
Like, but the food looks delicious, so we can imagine it, right? But, like, through Violet's jump over the pond, and, like, where he's like, oh, like, jump onto the leaf, and, like, the way, like, she jumps onto the leaf, and, like, in that moment, like, time stops, and everything's, as you put, ethereally beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get sent through the same... You are seeing exactly what that old man is seeing.
Yeah.
And so, like, when he's going through that nostalgic walk down his memories of his daughter, like, we can feel that. We know what prompted that, because, like, this was so beautiful, so unexpected, so miraculous. And, like, you know, it kind of is for, like, how good that looks. It kind of feels like a miracle. Like, it's been 2 years since Violet Evergarden came out, and we have not gotten anything that looks as good.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the point, is that it's not really a negative against the writing as much as the animation and appearance of the series is integrated into the writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that, you know, coexistence between the two of them wouldn't work if one side was slacking, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you brought up the point of how, you know, Bloom Into You is, like, a pretty decent looking show. Let's say, like, the direction is good, you know, but it's not animated really great, and it doesn't have very detailed character designs. Not that it should, because it matches the manga, but, like, that just is what it is, you know? Mm-hmm. But everyone praises Bloom Into You for the story and the characters and everything, but we wonder if the, you know, maybe the animation, maybe it was a bit more detailed, maybe if it was a bit more flashy, maybe it would have gotten more attention.
Right, because the budget smile is what really brought a ton of people to watch Euphonium. Because I was, like, you know, because I was watching it while it was airing on our anime, and, like, the comment sections, like, once, like, Budget Smile came out, like, what, through the roof. Like, there were so many more people watching Sound Euphonium once the Budget Smile came out.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, that's just kind of the nature of the game, where, like, you have a really amazing piece of animation or something that's really eye-catching in the community, and that draws people to the series. Like, it's not exactly the same thing, but think of the Chica dance with Kaguya.
Yeah!
And it did look great, but, you know...
God, I remember that podcast where, like, at the end you're like, yo, you guys need to see this ED. I'm pretty sure it's in ones. And
I experienced that in real time.
I was like, there was no way this is in ones. Like, there's no way they did an entire ED on ones. And then I watched, I'm like, oh my fucking god, they did an entire ED on ones! It was so impressive.
I'm, like, kind of self-admitted bad at, like, really picking up on minute details with animation, but somehow the only thing I can pick up on is when cuts are in ones. That's it.
It's because of that one remember that one panel, the animation on anime panel we went to.
I swear we've seen the same panel on animation at least 3 times, and I still feel really stupid about animation, like, in general. Like, they've given the same talk on frames per second, like, 1s and 3s. Like, they've done that talk every time we've gone to a panel, and I'm still, like, in first grade animation 101. It's actually kind of
you
stupid.
can tell when things are in ones. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's my quirk. I tell when things are in ones, and that's it.
All for ones.
All for ones. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It works too well. But yeah, another thing that it makes me think of is Demon Slayer, and I feel like I can bring this up as the best example. As a Kanwai, I feel like I don't want to be a Kanwai stan, but I've like
Kanwai. That sounds like a Jersey thing.
Kanwai, yo.
Kanwai.
Like I don't think I've wanted to be like a Kimetsu no Yaiba stan. You know?
Is there a name for the fandom?
I don't know. I'm not like in tune enough.
Do you call yourself like? Could they be the Demon Slayers? I don't know. That sounds kind of dumb.
That does sound dumb. We're not doing that. That sounds.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. No, but with Demon Slayer, right? So you got everything going for it. mostly I feel like it got a lot of attention once my boy Tanjiro started doing that water dance. He did the little fucking animation at UFO table, like the fucking monsters that they are. They made this look so fucking good, right? And like, dude, that was like the top post of fucking our anime. Number one post on our anime. Number one post on our anime that day was this fucking like scene of like how cool the water animation was. Like how it merged like the 3D CG fucking shit with like the 2D and how good that looked. It was fucking unreal, my man.
Can we just post that? That's just the podcast.
That's
our Demon Slayer talk.
That's our Demon Slayer talk. It was fucking bananas. It was fucking insane. So they got this motherfucking Tanjiro boy. Got this fucking water dance going on. And it looks so fucking good. And then a bunch of people started like jumping on the bandwagon. They were like, "Yo, this shit good, man. Like, I want some of that shit." And so like we saw with the sales too. Like these sales went through the fucking roof. It was like, it looked at fucking like One Piece's like single year sales record and was like, "Get out of here, get out of here. You forget about you. I'm selling here. And that was Demon Slayer's manga sales, and that's what they were doing because the anime really fucking enhanced that story. Like, and I say this as someone who was like reading the manga and like even with how it ended, which sympathy out to Gotoge Sensei, whose parents were apparently going through some health issues. Obviously, we never want to see anyone have to go through that with their family. And then they made the decision to try and end it as soon as possible so they could spend time with their family, which is one of the reasons why the ending was so rushed. But even so, like, I was going through it, and even from the beginning, I was like, man, this is good, but like, I wish, and it's rare too for me. I feel like that I would rather. Actually, it's not that rare. Where I feel like the anime enhances the manga adaptation, but like the jump from the manga to the anime, especially with Kimetsu no Yaiba, was so impressive. Like Gotoge Sensei's art is an acquired taste. I want to say it's not like,
I think it's decent. It gets the job done. It has its own aesthetic,
right?
But
no one's calling Gotoge like the next Miura. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're not out here doing that. We're not. Yeah, and it's not. It really works well, and it has a cool style to it. Because I read the first volume, and I was like, this art isn't like the most detailed, but it's cool, and I stand.
But like, the anime just brought it to a whole nother level.
Yeah,
and it really made this story, which like isn't like goated. It's not like, oh, like this is the most impressive, like amazing story of all time. But it made the sales and like the reception around it go to that tier because the animation was so good.
Yeah.
And I feel like UFO Table has that habit because I feel like Unlimited Blade Works is fun, but I think like a lot of the enhancement from the Dean version to UFO Table is the animation. I think that's like one of the clearest examples. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I mean, has UFO Table had an unsuccessful anime?
God Eater?
I don't remember them.
Came out in like 2016. They got hit with. They wanted to make the first like all 3D CG anime that looked really good in 2D, and then like they got hit with so many setbacks because it was so intensive. They had like 3 recap episodes in the first 6 weeks.
Gotcha.
And then they had to like release everything on Blu-ray because like they ran out of TV slots.
That is something. You had that like ready. That was when you had that answer on deck. I'm impressed.
Because it's like one of the few anime I have on hold. Like it's been on hold since forever because like I want to watch the Blu-ray versions of it, but I don't want to pay for the Blu-rays to watch God Eater.
Yeah.
So like
understandable.
I'm like in this weird impasse between myself. Inside of me are 2 wolves. Both of them don't want to watch God Eater.
That's a different type of wolf children we have going. I think I've seen a lot of people get salty over Demon Slayer's success, and they're like, why this one? And I always find it so petty and kind of lame, just because I'm hoping that Demon Slayer's success will show the industry that anime adaptations that are good enough to capture the attention of everyone on Twitter are worth investing in, Like, maybe by some, hope it will lead to giving animators more time. more effort, everything to kind of, like, do the best job they can. But, you know, I'm more hopeful and optimistic than I think it'll turn out to be. I think no one in the industry will really learn their lesson from that. But I'm more hopeful that even really good adaptations will come. What I'm trying to say is I'm really hoping Attack on Titan Season 4 doesn't mess up. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's what you're really trying to get at?
I'm trying to get at, I want Demon Slayer's success to tangentially turn Attack on Titan Season 4 into the best adaptation of Attack on Titan. But I have a bad feeling that won't happen. So...
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, Demon Slayer's adaptation, like, not only, like, kept the manga to, like, really good levels, but it made it, like, all-time great sales. Like, there's those charts of, like, like, number one this year for sales for manga volumes was Demon Slayer, right? Obviously, with, like, 82 million or so sales, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And then number 2 was, like, Kingdom with 8 million sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, Demon Slayer outsold the number 2 manga in the country by 10 times over.
Damn.
One Piece was 7.7 million. Like, it's crazy how much Demon Slayer sold. And a lot of people were saying there's a lot of, like, reasons for it. Like, the animation was really good. The way it, like, captured, like, a part of, like, a very inherently Japanese aspect of their culture was really good.
Yeah.
But I also want to say one of the reasons I found it so compelling is that a lot of shonen... I feel like the most successful shonen manga and anime are the ones where all the characters seem well written. I feel like there's way too many shonen manga and anime out there where, like, women are, like, written as afterthoughts, kind of. They're, like, mostly there just for fan service. They're not really giving a lot of character development. They're kind of just tossed to the side and, like, used as gag characters. Fire Force!
Oh, yeah.
But Demon Slayer, like, you know, despite not... It reminded me in a lot of ways... It reminded me in this one way of Fullmetal Alchemist. Brotherhood, not 2003. Because 2003 also fell into those same problems with Winry and Riza specifically.
Yeah.
But I feel like Brotherhood and the manga, what they did really well is they really fleshed out the female characters so that they felt like real people, and it wasn't just the men who felt like real people. And even though, like, FMA does not have a woman as a lead, right? Like, Winry's a side character, Riza's a side character, like, Olivia, like, Armstrong is a side character. Like, all of them are side characters. Izumi Curtis is a side character, but they're all well written. They're all fleshed out.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I think, applies to Demon Slayer, especially when it comes to... Maybe not so much Nezuko, but that's because, like, Nezuko can't talk. Like,
she can't talk.
She can't talk the talk. She can't talk.
She can walk the walk, but she can't talk the talk.
She can't talk the talk. You know, she's a fucking demon out here. She can't talk. What's she gonna do? She can't
she's
talk.
She's in a box.
She's in a fucking box. Her mother's going like, my daughter can't talk. My daughter can't talk. my dumb daughter can't talk.
Yeah, I mean, I also think, you know, I was thinking about it, and I remember Shinobu's fan art count went just, like, through the roof. And you're saying a lot of this is, like, a manga reader, right? Yeah, because I don't think we get to see this in the anime per se.
I think there's a lot that gets broken down with Shinobu, though. Because we have the backstory episode where, you know, like, she's introduced to us as this, like, very, like, fluffy, like, oh, haha, hee, Saori Hayamin goddess character who's like, tee, I, like, poisoned you and you're dead, right? Yeah. And you're like, why is she always smiling? Like, what's got her there? And then Tanjiro, like, is like, hey, like, you're really angry. Like, I've never, like, sensed so much anger from one person. And then we see her backstory of, like, her and her older sister, like, freeing a slave, and, like, how angry Shinobu was at the world and at the demons, and how the demons killed her older sister, and, like, her older sister's dying wish that, like, Shinobu never lose her smile because she loved that smile so much.
Yeah, and that's a good backstory. I like that.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, it doesn't even take that long, you know?
Yeah.
Like, note to self, creators, it does not take that much to make a fleshed out character. Like, you don't have to... And on the other hand, it doesn't take that much to completely destroy a character. Kishimoto knows that with Sakura and Naruto. But, you know, like... And the one lady, too, the one at the very beginning who's the demon who heals and is trying to heal the other people. Like... She also had, like, a really good backstory of, like, you know, like, she just wants to help people. She was able to free herself from Kibutsuji Mugen's curse. Yeah. And so she's able to do this, right? And so she's, like, fleshed out in that way.
I deadass just forget everything about Demon Slayer when you put it this way. I've, like, completely forgotten the first half. When you put it, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Right, but, like, when you think about it, it's like, oh, right, like, they treated all these characters with respect. Mm-hmm. None of them were fan service characters. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's some good criticism, I think, on some of the main characters, like
Zenitsu,
and
right.
Well, I don't know about Inosuke because, like, there's nothing really wrong with him. He just kind of gets grating at times.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they need to be, like, amazing characters, but I feel like it's always bad when, like, the only characters with good backstories are men.
Yeah, you're just saying the female characters get a lot more respect than most series, which is good.
Right, like in a Fire Force, or look, I love One Piece, but a lot of times the One Piece characters like get tossed aside and are just like fan service one shot characters. Like sometimes they're good, like Nami gets like a really good arc, or like Vivian gets a good arc. But like, you know, a lot of times like they're just like fan service characters. Not to mention like, you know, how some of the other characters are treated. Bleach with Orihime did a really poor job. Naruto with Sakura, really poor job. Shaman King, you know, your namesake, because I know you love Shaman King.
Yeah, all 0 episodes of I've seen, and naturally named after.
Exactly. I think it did an okay job, but it also didn't even, like, really try.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it was really refreshing to have that in Demon Slayer. So the point I'm trying to get after, like, 15 minutes about ranting about this is that in the same way you hope that, like, tangentially it'll increase the amount of, like, good adaptations we get, I hope this increases the amount of works we get from female and non-binary authors in manga and in anime who can give us a well-rounded cast.
Yeah. And I think another element that probably contributed to the success of it, especially in that episode, that you can also see in other successful series, is the theme of, like, family ties helping and giving you strength. I think that was something that really resonated with people, because that was, of course, the scene where Tanjiro remembered his father's, you know, I guess it was a fire dance that turned into the water dance. So, like, that and, you know, Nezuko helping, all of that coming together in a really wholesome way that that fought against the fake theme of whatever, like, the fake family that that demon had, which, you know, showed the negative ties to family. So that was really cool.
And it's also nice because, like, throughout Demon Slayer, like, so much stuff is foreshadowed from the very beginning and tied in a really smart and, like, not necessarily, like, smart as in, like, oh, like, 900 IQ, but, like, really meaningful way. Like, oh, like, of course they would go this way. It's like, it just makes so much sense with the themes of the story. Yeah. As opposed to something like, I don't know, My Hero Academia, where it's like, of course they would go this way. It has no other reason to go any other way than this way, because it's the easiest way out.
We will eventually have our My Hero Academia pod. Do you think the people would want to hear that?
I was on the My Hero Academia pod already.
I mean, like, an update. It's been a couple of years since then.
It has been a couple of years.
And to be fair, that ended up turning into the Shonen pod.
It did, because I was like, I am running out of My Hero Academia.
You know, it was funny because that's, like, unironically one of my favorite episodes to listen to of us. And I love it. I'm like, this is not a good My Hero Academia pod, but this is a fantastic shonen pod that happens to touch on My Hero Academia.
Yes, but we marketed it as My Hero Academia pod to get that sweet, sweet SEO.
Well, you did intend to be a My Hero Academia pod, but...
We did, but you know...
You know what we
can't, like, retroactively change the title.
I know. We need someone to, like, truly debate you who can, like, go toe-to-toe on your points. Because I think you were, like... You were ready, and everyone's like, you know, kind of fair points. I don't agree, but I still love it. And I'm like, well, no, we need the fight. We need the all for one versus one for all.
Like, how many years ahead was I with what's gonna happen in the manga? How
you
many
did
years
predict
ahead?
the recent plot twist. You were literally 3 years ahead.
And I wasn't predicting. I was like, this is so dumb that of course this is gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not caught up, technically. I mean, I am, but I'm not. You know how you see spoilers, so you're kind of caught up, but you haven't read it firsthand, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it, and
like
then
me
we'll
with
see.
JoJo.
Yeah, well, you unironically know JoJo better than, like, half the JoJo band. It's very terrifying and disheartening that you literally know JoJo.
Sometimes you say that, and I want to agree. Daga kotowaru.
See, like, bro, that's, like, actually that's JoJo fans. That's literally JoJo fans. You are JoJo fans.
I am JoJo fans. But yeah, I think My Hero Academia is another one where, like, if the animation was piss poor, like, nobody would care about it.
Yeah, and that is a series that has very fantastic manga art.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really ridiculous.
Horikoshi, very good art.
He's ridiculously talented. I've seen some spreads where I'm like, this is weekly? Like, gotta be kidding me.
It's crazy. Like,
yeah.
You can tell this guy loves manga. Like, and that feels weird to say because, of course, like, people, like, you would hope these people love their art and, like, you don't need to, and even if they didn't, right, you don't need to love your job to be good at it. But, like, the amount of, you could feel the passion he has for his craft.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're reading his chapters.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you always kind of think of it. I mean, I've seen this for a lot of Berserk spreads, but it is kind of true when you're like, you really didn't need to go this hard, but you did. Like, you really did it to him, and you didn't need to put in this much effort, but we're better because of it.
Right. It's like the opposite of, like, towards the end of Bleach, like the last 2 arcs, where you could tell the mangaka did not give a shit. Same thing with Shokugeki, where, like, you could tell, like, their heart was not in it anymore. They did not want to finish that one out.
We talk about what a tragedy the end of Shokugeki is, because I was thinking about it, and, I mean, Shokugeki spoilers for anyone who gives a fuck. Who does at this point? But how do you not even have the main ship sail? Like, what kind of artistic integrity are you afraid of ruining by having the main ship get together? And they didn't even do that.
Nope.
What an actual
give
failure.
Us that.
Yo, I'm so mad. Shokugeki is actually, unironically, a series that treated the female cast pretty well, especially since it was, like, an ecchi series, so you wouldn't expect it. But, like, it had a really good female cast. It had a good cast in general, and it was like, nah.
Yeah, Megumi had, like, really good arcs. Erina, Alice.
Who's the one?
The one senpai who,
the
Chinese...
Rindo.
Yeah, Rindo, yeah.
Yeah, she was great. I loved her.
Yeah.
I loved them all. They were so good and likable. They had amazing designs. They had the cool, like, sports shonen cooking setup. Like, everything was there. So, I mean, like, I don't know. Man. It makes me sad.
It does make me sad. But, you know, and that was another one where I feel like the animation really helped its popularity, too, because it was, like, for an ecchi anime, it was, like, decently well animated. Although by the end, like, you could tell they were, like, getting away with a lot of panning shots. Like, every shot was a panning shot.
Yeah.
That was really funny.
Yeah, and that's where you're like, oh, and then it comes full circle because they gave no fucks on the animation, which is sad. And at first they could pull it off, but they couldn't pull it off for long.
They could not. And, you know, it's... At its heart, anime is a visual medium, and the reason we watch it, right, and the reason why it's distinct from manga is because we love seeing the fluidity to it, the motion to it, the everything else it brings. And, you know, like, I'm sure we could also talk about, like, sound design and, like, anime with, like, really shitty sound design. Like, Fate Apocrypha has really shitty sound design.
I love that. It's like, you never know what sound design is until you watch Fate Apocrypha, and you hear it's like every motion they make is like an Inception noise. Like, you know, the Inception, like, wah! Like,
yeah,
that's every time they do something.
They take a step and, like, I'm like, my headphones are gonna break. Like, this.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is not good sound design. No, this is not it.
It is not. That, you know, and that's Fate Apocrypha for you, which had good animation, but bad story. Holy shit, bad story. That was a terrible story. Great animation. Fantastic animation, bad story. Oh, man. What about Ping Pong the animation, Shaw?
Well, I think the animation is good, but it's not, you know, it's
Here's
definitely
my
more
hot
artistic.
take. Here's my hot take for the Speakeasy podcast. If you gotta put the animation in the title, it's not that good. We should be able to tell. Yo, if you gotta tell us that it's animated, how good can it be, right?
I mean,
let's go down the list. Let's go down the list, okay? Aria the animation, Ping Pong the animation.
You got any more, or is that gonna be it?
Oh shit! I think there was that one like trigger show, that was like something the animation. It was like hold on. I'm gonna look up the animation. Akiba. Oh, there was Akiba's Trip, the animation, which was not good. It was actually really bad. There was the Danganronpa anime, the animation, which a lot of people did not like. It is widely panned for being really bad.
Unironically, though, Persona 4, the animation I heard was actually pretty good.
Huh, okay, so we got some hits.
But that's like okay, that's necessary. If you have a video game adaptation, you need to say the animation because it's a video game.
That's true.
That's different. But I do appreciate how this is not only an attack on my favorites, but it fits into the narrative of your fixation with titles. And if they're not, like, literally what happened, you're like, this is shit. I hate this. This gotta go.
Yeah, you're like, yo, like, Aria the animation, give me something a little more.
But it doesn't animate. You're like, but it's not animated that much. What are they doing?
That's why I'm so if in Aria the Natural, it is not animated with like natural colors and like on like natural paper and like filmed in nature, I'm gonna be so pissed.
When you get to Aria the Origination, you're like, if this isn't original, I'm done.
If this isn't the original anime, like, I don't know what you want me to do. If this isn't the origin of anime. I am happy, though. There is Aria the OVA, which I have been informed is an OVA.
Oh, so if it is an OVA, you know, the bar is lowered a bit.
Right, like,
maybe
if it was, like, called, like, Aria, like, there's that one anime, right? Like, I Want to Be the Strongest in the World. Like, yeah. I've not watched that because, like, yo, like, you know how many people are, like, really strong in the world? You want to be the strongest? Like, that's gonna be tough. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna be able to do it. Right. And then there are other ones where, like, oh, like, the title is, like, really, like, oh, shit, like, we should have picked up on it. Like, Rakugo?
Yeah,
I mean... about Rakugo.
But it's not like we know what Rakugo is.
True. But, like, it has Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, and Shinju meaning, like, lover suicide.
That we should have known. That was the key.
That was the key.
I was going to bring up something. I forgot what it was. I was looking at I was going to say maybe we need to watch Sangatsu no Lion in March, because if March comes in like a lion, maybe that's
Did March come in like a lion in Sangatsu no Lion? I
don't think it did.
Did they ever mention that it was like March?
It did. Well, it's in March Town, so it's not even in March, I think.
So the town is coming in like a lion?
No, the town is where does the lion come into play, actually? Is he the lion? Because I don't think he feels like a lion.
There's no lion imagery.
There's not a lot of lions.
Where are the lions?
What was I going to say? There was another title that was like, your fixation on the title was really funny. Completely lost me. I'm so sad. I'm going to remember it as soon as we stop recording, too. Where it's like, immediately. But yeah, I love your fixation on titles. And if they don't live up to the title...
Like Bunny Girl Senpai?
Yeah. Oh yeah, your rant on Bunny Girl Senpai and how she's not in the Bunny Girl suit long enough for the show to be called Bunny Girl Senpai is actually good.
Yo, like, I'm pretty sure I could, like, splice together a cut of, like, all the frames in which she's in a Bunny Girl suit. I don't think it would hit 2 minutes. I would even include a cut from the OP where she's in the Bunny Girl suit. It would not hit 2 minutes. You gotta make a fan cam.
You make a fan cam and it only has to be, like, 10 seconds long.
It was just her in a Bunny Girl suit.
Yeah. Wait, this is actually, this is an interesting question. Well, what do you think is the best title of an anime?
God, that's such a good question.
Came out of nowhere. And I'm just looking at the Mal page of Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2, and I'm like, you lose by default. Season 3 Part 2 is not a good title. That is not helpful.
That helps no one.
That helps no one. Oh, this is the story I was going to tell you while you think. So I remember on our anime, someone made a thread saying, I know that there's Clanad after story, but is there Clanad before story? And that's been my favorite, like, question-related Reddit post on our anime.
I love it.
I love that. Because it makes so much sense when you think about it, but it's also so stupid. Because you just naturally are like, oh yeah, clan ed and then after story. But seeing as after story is the only one that really gets that much discussion, you're like, I could see how someone came to this.
Like, where is the before story?
But where's before story? That's like so funny. I love that thread.
Really funny. Oh god. Best title. You know what one I really like?
I think I know which one it is, but you might not
say
have
it. Say it.
I think it's gonna be Hyoka because you're gonna go over the pun.
Fuck! I hate you!
Was it Hyoka? Yes! Yes.
Because it's like the
did
fucking...
it. Yes. This is the biggest win I've had in like a month. This is it. Right now, predicting your favorite anime title that you probably told me before. This is the win. This is it.
You know what I was actually thinking? The first thing that came to mind was Hyoka. And then I was like, Shaw can probably read my mind. So this entire time, I was thinking of Cowboy Bebop. And the last second, I was going to go back to Hyoka. Because I was going to be like, it's the fucking answer to the first fucking mystery.
And it's got the double meaning.
Yes. It's got the double meaning. Like, I was thinking also Kill La Kill was also up there for me. Psychopaths.
Psychopaths is great, too.
But, yeah, how about for you?
I always loved The Promised Neverland, but I feel like that's more of, like, a manga title. But there's so much that, can go with that thematically, and it just sounds cool.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot that goes with Gintama, too, but that's kind of, like, mean
So
bullshit.
in the second season of Prison Break, they're already out of prison, but the title still works when you consider that society is a prison.
I love that, too, because I could reference Promised Neverland and Gintama at the same time.
It's like everything. It's like
so
in the second arc of Hyoka, they've already figured out what Hyoka means, but the title season works when you consider that the magazine they're writing in is called Hyoka.
The Galaxy Brain titles, love them. Yeah, I mean...
So in the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya comes back, but it still works if you consider that society has disappeared.
Society has disappeared. Yo, that's not even wrong. How is that fitting? 2020 is so weird that that's so true.
Oh, man. God.
My God, I love that. Also, though, like, high key. I think Kaguya Wants to Be Confessed To is such a good title.
Mm-hmm. I hate that it's like Love is War. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, and I think it still fits, but we know the alternative.
Yes.
And it's such a call to action. Like, you get an entire sense of what the series is about with Kaguya Wants to Be Confessed To, whereas Love is War is, still pretty accurate, but, it's like such a call to action with it.
Imagine if, like, a place further than the universe was called, like, Arctic Expedition.
Yeah. That's like, I don't know, that sounds a bit too hype.
A place further than the universe is, like, such a good title.
That's a great title. Yeah, that is a great title.
I didn't like how they got rid of, how they changed, a town where only I am missing to Erased.
Yeah, that's actually a great title.
Like, Erased is, like, whatever, but I really liked a town where only I am missing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Just like Erased. It was erased from my memory.
It was erased from my memory. Yo, I have one friend who's, like, obsessed with Erased. He's watched, like, maybe, like, 10 anime, but, like, he's obsessed with Erased. He'll never shut up about Erased. He's like, yo, like, why isn't anyone, like
why aren't they talking about it? Did you tell him everyone hates the ending?
I did, and he's like, yeah, but the first part is, like, really good, but I'm like, yeah, but the ending fucking sucks.
It's like, are you unaware of, the biggest part of the series? I appreciate their optimism, though. Like, good on you.
Yes.
I was thinking of another one. I forget what it was. Oh, this is what I was going to talk about. Did I tell you how my sister is now a full-blown weeb, but she likes the shittiest anime?
Oh, so she likes the same anime you do?
No, she doesn't even like the Chimera Ant arc. She likes everything but the Chimera Ant arc and Hunter x Hunter.
There's a non-insignificant people I've met who, non-insignificant amount of people I've met who like everything but Chimera Ant arc.
They probably are in the same Venn diagram as people who don't think COVID is real. I'm just saying.
No, I think it's just, like, it drags on for too long.
I understand, but some people say COVID has dragged on for too long, and then they stop wearing masks. I'm just saying.
Wow, Shaw.
Meruem
would wear a mask.
Yeah, Marilyn would one-shot COVID. I'm just saying.
Yo, it sucks to your grandma, but I'm built different for real.
Yeah, he would be like, yo, I'm gonna find the origin of this virus and obliterate it. For all we know, he could do that. He might have the Nen ability to do that.
Exactly. The Nen ability to wear a mask.
Yeah. The courage to wear a mask. Unironically, the courage to wear a mask.
You know what masks do? Masks are the real shonen hero because they protect that smile.
Oh, do you see the billboard of Batman where it's like, I wear the mask to protect those I love?
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
I love that.
Well, all amazing things must come to an end. And our time today here at the Speakeasy, cheers to everyone who's over at home. Hope you enjoyed your drinks. Hope you enjoyed the conversation and the talk we had with me and my good friend Shaw over here tonight. Shaw, any last words you want to give to people on this edition of Speakeasy as we close it out?
I appreciate your Jersey accent so much, and I'm so jealous I can't do it as well, and I hope everyone else appreciates it as much as I do, and I hope they had fun listening to us, and thanks for the late night chat.
Yeah, well, whenever you're listening to it, if you want a day drink, we do not encourage it whatsoever. But
we don't encourage it?
We don't encourage, not publicly. We do not publicly endorse day drinking.
We don't encourage anything publicly during COVID.
We actually don't encourage endorse anything. But we are endorsed by our good friends over at Sentai Filmworks and High Dive. But
actually though, not
memeing,
like non-alcoholic not.
Bro,
I was gonna say non-alcoholic hentai, non-alcoholic Heineken.
Non-alcoholic. Yo. You know what's better than non-alcoholic Heineken? Free anime subscriptions. But
yes.
That sale was amazing from
I really hope my parents got me the Tatami Galaxy because I messaged them about it twice and I was like, guys, this sale is ending soon. So, I mean,
they better have gone it for you.
Also, speaking of something really cool that is recently on High Dive that I'm not even just shilling because we're, sponsored by them. But I always wanted to watch Kaiji.
Yeah, Kaiji,
the Ultimate Survivor, which is kind of an iconic anime that a lot of people who, if you really like thrillers or you like the high intense gambling type of series. Like if you like, what's the one series? It's the horny gambling one.
Kakegurui?
Yeah, if you like Kakegurui but want it instead of horniness but guys with pointy noses and I think maybe more tension. I heard that's really good, and I can't wait to check it out, because I've heard good things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on High Dive now, and that's really cool. I think it's on High Dive. They're selling the Blu-rays of it, actually.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. That's a PogChamp and chat, if I ever saw
And that's just, one of the cool things. I gotta double-check if it's on High Dive. I don't want to lie. High Dive has a lot of cool things. Like, if you guys can't find that, just watch Kino's Journey. Like, you're fine. Watch that instead. But the fact that... they're selling... Yeah, I think it's not on High Dive. They're selling the Blu-rays of Kaji's Ultimate Survivor is really cool. Because that's just one of those series that you always hear about and you want to check out, but you never have the good opportunity to. And it's just old enough to be out of the public eye. Mm-hmm. So, that's really cool of them. So we bless Sentai for bringing these gems back.
Yo, bless up.
Bless up. Maybe do that with Nana and Monster, maybe.
Ooh,
hint, hint,
maybe.
wink,
Wink. Yo, we should actually hit him up. We should hit him up. Be like, yo, can you save Nana? Please?
I will literally say, save Nana, please.
Yo, we should you should start a whole thing. You should start a campaign like Save Nana.
Hashtag Save Nana.
Hashtag
Save
Nana.
I'm a dumbass. It's literally on the front page, but I didn't scroll down enough. Kaji is on High Dive. Sorry, I'm drunk. Go watch it.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. It has been a speakeasy night, and we've been speaking easy.
Been speaking too easy, apparently.
Too easy. Hope you've been listening easy. Thank you, everyone, for listening in. We'll be back with another edition, I'm sure, sometime soon. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Wear a mask if you can. Keep watching anime. Stay indoors. If you stay indoors and you watch anime, you're a hero. It's true. There's never been a better time to be a weeb. I'm telling you right now. There's never been a better time to be a neat than right now.
This is our time.
This is our time. All right, and this is our time to go. So thank you all again. You can find me at Fate Steel Taylor and Shaw at Shawking807 on Twitter. And you can also follow us on Tokyo Podfathers on Twitter and on YouTube as the Anime Podcast. the R Anime Podcast, and on Spotify, on iTunes, and wherever you listen to podcasts, there we are also. All right, everyone, this has been Taylor. Sayonara.
Sayonara. That was so dope. I hope I won't get canceled for saying people who hate the Chimera Ant arc are anti-maskers, but that's the vibe I'm feeling.
I can't believe no one has explained to me where are the lions in Sangatsu no Lion.
Where are they?